Morning, yogis. As I said in my email, happy Diwali. So Diwali is that festival of lights. It's one of the widest celebrated holidays in India. And I thought it was nice to just remind us of that time as the days get darker, they get a little cooler here in the Northeast. And I know we have a lot, it's hard to accept the transition, which may be in part why that this holiday kind of came to be, this idea of bringing the light in to dispel the darkness, that idea of good over evil, and much that what we do at Christmas time, decorating with lights, bringing greenery from the outdoors in. But the things about Diwali, it's a joyful time, as is that Christmas time, that same thing. So again, a celebratory time, gift giving, decorating with lights, cleaning the house and making it all special foods. And so ultimately it's a celebration of life. It's joyful, it's happiness, it's a happy time. From a mythological standpoint, the story is that Lord Rama returned from the forest after battling demons and Lord Ravana and saving his Queen Sita. I think I've talked about that myth before. So people were very happy when he came back, and it inspired joy and dispelled ignorance. Also, another myth was related to the goddess Lakshmi, that said that she abides at this time of Diwali. So it's that time of joy, wealth, and abundance. So with those kinds of ideas, I thought we would have a little bit of a joyful practice, feeling joy being in our body, generate a little heat in the body, at this cold time of year, get some heat going, and then do some back bends and end up with a joyful heart opener in Utkatasana. So that is where we're headed. And let's begin seated. So sit up on a cushion if you like, so that the hips are a little higher than the knees. You can, lengthen your spine, give a little extra tone to the belly. You can take a moment to just land here and notice how you're feeling, so that you can move safely, honoring your body and how you're feeling. Noticing how you're feeling energetically. Again, to adjust the practice to how you're feeling. Noticing your mental state. Noticing your breath. And allowing your breath to deepen. See if you are able to deepen your inhale and extend your exhale. Take one or two more full, easy breaths. And then this next round, let's add a sun breath. So if your eyes are closed, you can flutter your eyes open. Release your arms down by your sides, send them out to the side, up to the sky, relaxing your shoulders, getting long. And then on an exhale, lower your right arm and fold to the right. Draw that left arm in line with your ear, keeping the left sit bone grounded, going as far over as feels comfortable for you right now. This is our first movement, so honor that. Tone the belly, take an inhale to rise up. Arms are parallel, fold to the left. I'm breathing here into the whole right side body. Maybe even getting a sense that this right lung is becoming a little fuller. Maybe even allowing your eardrop to get a movement in the neck. Lateral stretch in your neck. Next inhale rises us up. Give a little extra tone to the belly to start to rotate to the right as you lower left hand on right knee, right hand behind the back. And inhale, get long. Feel the rotation begin at the belly. You can look over your right shoulder. You can even look forward. Finding some rotation in your neck now. Next inhale, we derotate, arms come skyward, and then we twist to the left and breathe. Now as we derotate, keep your left hand where it is. You can send your right arm up and back. Both hands are behind the back. On tented fingers, draw elbows, triceps, and shoulder blades towards the spine. Press down with your fingers, lift your heart, maybe lift your gaze. First little back bend. Feeling, starting to feel the joy of moving in our body, the joy of a new day. And then slowly send your arms out to the sides and come forward into our first forward fold. Keep the sits bones grounded, so maybe even have your hands on the earth. Press your hips into the earth, your sits bones back, and then as far as you're able to go forward with your grounded sit bones, do that. Be mindful of lengthening the torso and lead into the fold with your heart. So you're leading into it joyfully, with compassion for how you're feeling in your body. No pushing, just nice and easy. Making our first forward fold. One more breath here. And let's inhale and rise up. And pause and notice how we're feeling now after those first few movements. Let's move into a tabletop posture. So you can roll right over your shins onto your knees, or you could uncross your legs and rotate so that you're on your mat. Back on your mat. Now you've got a blanket, so you can put it under your knees for a little extra cushion if you like. I'll do that today. And have knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders for our tabletop. Okay, tone to the belly. Inhale, send your sits bones to the sky as the belly drops and the heart comes between your arms. You lift your gaze, potentially coming into extension in your neck. On the exhale, tuck the tailbone around the spine, draw the navel and drop the head, getting some flexion into the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. And keep going like that at your own pace. Inhaling and exhaling, making it a vinyasa. Even if you want to linger in one of each movement and hold it for a breath or so, breath or two, it's okay. Make it feel good. Mobilizing the spine. Linking our breath with the movement. Let's try one more. Inhale here into the extension. Exhale into your flexion or your cat back. Hold it there. See if you can draw the navel toward the spine even more. Maybe pass the spine to the sky. Feel the shoulder blades moving apart. And then take one breath here. And on your next exhale, uncurl your toes and sit back into a child's pose. So take that rounded back right into your child's pose and notice how that feels. Breathing here, making any adjustments in your legs if you like, opening the legs wider. Supporting your head with something, whether it's a block, your hands, or the earth. Take one more breath here. And the next inhale, we're going to rise back up to tabletop. Bring the legs back to hip width if you opened your legs wide. Send your hands a little forward of your shoulders, curl your toes under, and rise up to your downward facing dog. So the hands are grounded, so you can press the earth away and send your hips to the sky. Keep your knees bent if you like. Tone to the belly, head between your arms. You can get some movement in your neck if you like. Breathing here. Now pedal your feet out and warm up your calves and your hamstrings. Make it feel good. And breathe here. Maybe bring that movement to stillness. Now we're going to do a three-legged dog. So if that's too much, you could always be in tabletop and do a three-legged table and float the foot forward, but we're ultimately going to try to bring our foot forward. Actually, I'm going to move my blanket out of the way right now, but when we bring our leg forward, we'll be on our knees. So if you want to keep your blanket, you can, and just step over it. So you decide. So back into table or dog pose. Let's all lift our right leg towards the sky or to hip height if you're in tabletop. Inhale, come forward to a high plank, round the spine, and bring the leg in and nose towards your knee. Send that leg back out. Got two more coming. Two more times. Send that leg back out. Bring it forward, nose to knee. Now, when you're doing this, really feel like you've got your cat back. You're rounding the spine and trying to draw that leg upward so that you're making space for that step through eventually. Last time, send it up. Bring it forward, round the spine, nose to knee. Good. Getting ready to step through. We're not doing it yet. And this next time, we're going to bring it up, and then we're going to step the foot through to land between the hands. So you're in your low lunge. Okay, good job. Take a breath here. Square your hips, strong back leg. Lower your knee down. Come off of the kneecap if you can. Again, propping under the knee is fine. And drop the hips. You get a nice stretch in the hip flexor and the psoas of that left leg. Right knee is over the ankle, maybe slightly ahead of the ankle. And then use core strength or even the support of your right leg to send your arms to the sky. Knee down, warrior one. Now make this a little bit of a back bend by lifting your heart and lifting your gaze and breathing here. Feeling the joy of being in your body. Celebrating the light, happiness, abundance. We truly have all we need. So fortunate. And then lower your hands down to frame your foot. Send the right leg, extend the right leg as you send your hips back towards the left heel. Lift your toes. Take a nice stretch. You can even add a little movement if you need to, forward and back, or flexion of the ankle. Your hands could be on the earth, on your blocks. So if I had my blocks, if it was easier, at whatever height, or even on the leg. It gets a little balancy, challenging, but see what feels comfortable for you for this Ardha Hanumanasana. Getting a nice stretch on that leg. Take one more breath. And then come back up through the knee down lunge. Lift the back leg into your low lunge. Good. Rise up into your warrior one. Oops, however you get there, you can even use your leg to rise up, just like we did with the knee down version. Good. And then we're going to come forward again. Lower your hands to frame the right foot. Step the left foot to meet the right. You're in your forward fold. Good job. And now pedal your feet so you can bend one knee, even lift the heel of the other leg. So we're getting more of a stretch in the legs. Good. Good. Now this next time, let's bend our right leg, bend the right leg, bend that knee. Good. Straighten the other leg, ground your right hand, and then send your left arm to the sky. So you're twisting to the left, getting a nice stretch on that left leg. Toning your belly, rotating, and breathe here. And then lower the left hand down as you bend your left leg. Ground your left hand onto the earth or a block. Straighten your right leg and send the right arm to the sky for a twist. And then lower the right hand down, come into your forward fold, rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, exhale back into Uttanasana, bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. With your strong legs, rise all the way up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Get long here. Let's take a forward, a side bend. So with your right hand, you can take hold of that left wrist, give it a little tug, and fold over to the right. And breathe. Come back through center. Left hand could take that right wrist, give it a tug, get long, and take that length over to the left. And breathe here. Come on back through center, and then release your arms wide to the side. Good job. All right. So let's do that on the other side. This time we'll go right into our downward facing dog through a half sun salutation. So take a big inhale, get long, maybe lift your gaze, take an extension if you like. Exhale and forward bend, hands through prayer or swan dive into your fold. Rise up halfway into your half lift. Exhale, go back into your fold. Soften your knees so your hands are on the earth. Walk your legs back into a plank pose. You can lower your knees down and come to table, or send your hips to the sky for dog pose. So remember, we're doing this from table or dog, up to you, depending on how you're feeling today or on the side. Hips are lifting, you can pedal your legs again. Again, it's cold, starting into the cold time of year. So it might take a little bit more for our body to warm up. Maybe good to do even a little bit of warming before your yoga practice. A little cardiovascular, a little a shower perhaps. Good. Now let's do those leg liftings, three-legged dog on the left side. So send the left leg to the sky and then come forward sort of in a high plank, round your spine and bring the knee towards your nose. Send the leg back, three-legged dog. Knee to nose. One more time, send that leg back up. Again, remember, you're really rounding the spine and using the core to draw that leg up as if you're going to step through, because we are going to next time, right? Not easy. And then send that leg up. This time, step through, round the spine, draw that leg in and plant the foot to land between your hands. Even if I had to move my left hand out of the way a little bit, you may have to have blocks. So however you get there, it's totally fine. Good, so find that low lunge for a moment, then lower the knee down. Come off of the kneecap so you get a nice stretch in the front of the thigh. Maybe lift your heart a little bit. And then you can keep your hands on the earth, blocks, or you can send them to the sky, knee down warrior one with a little back bend. Take one more breath. And slowly lower your hands down to frame the foot. Send the leg back into the Ardha Hanumanasana, squaring your hips, melting your heart over the leg, like we did in that first forward fold. Draw the left hip back, lengthening the head toward the toes. Okay, and then let's lower the foot, bend the knee, lift the back leg, rise up, warrior one, squaring here, pausing for a moment or two. If that's too much, you can even stay in your knee down warrior one. Wherever you ended up, let's lower our hands to frame our foot. Let's send the right leg to meet the left, back in our Uttanasana. You can pedal your feet again, so warm up the legs a little bit more. And another twist. So keep the right leg straight, bend the left leg, right hand grounds in front of that foot as your torso twists to the left. sorry, I'm sorry, your right leg will bend and the left leg is straight as you twist. Sorry about that. So keep the direction you're twisting in, keep that leg straight and feel that nice stretch all the way up the leg, through the torso, and find a rotation in your spine. And then lower your left hand down as you bend that knee. Bring your right leg towards straighter as you lengthen your torso and start to rotate to the right and sending arms skyward if that feels okay in your shoulder. And then lower that hand down, bend both knees. Bring your legs towards straighter as you rise up halfway, then your hands climb up the legs, torso lengthens. Exhale, take that length back into your fold. Then bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs, like Utkatasana. Lift your chest and use your strong legs to rise up. When we get to the top, we're in Urdhva, let's take one more side bend. So the left hand could take hold of that right wrist, take it, get long on the right side, fold to the left. Okay. Back through center. Release, maybe get a little extra length on the left side and fold to the right. Come back through center and release your arms wide to the side and pause here. Notice how you're feeling now. Let's take our second wave, which we'll start to get into a little bit more back bend. So starting at the top of your mat space, again, have your blocks handy just in case. We'll start with our Utkatasana, so like sort of a Surya Namaskar B. So squat down, you can sweep your fingers down towards the earth. Keep the legs bent as you shift your hips back and you can visibly see the toes in front of the knees. Lift your chest, maybe arms at shoulder height, drawing them in, nice stable shoulders. Tailbone draws down as the chest lifts up. Maybe you bring your arms to a 45-degree angle and breathe here. Nice. Take another breath or two. And then send your left hand to the outside of the right leg and send your right leg back. Let's add a twist. Standing twist, hips stay forward and you're rotating from the belly, broad across your collarbones. Come back through center. Maybe sink a little deeper here. And then twist to your left. Right hand to the outside of the left leg, left arm goes back. Make sure the knees stay together, aligned, and the rotation happens in the belly. Come back through center, maybe sink a little deeper here, this is it. And then exhale, fold, hands through prayer or swan dive, Utkatasana. Take a half lift. Exhale, go back into your fold, and then walk, step, or hop your legs back into your plank pose. Stay in your high plank or lower your knees for modified plank. Bend your elbows back towards your hips and slowly lower down onto your belly. Uncurl your toes, plant the tops of your feet, your belly onto the earth. Hands are in line with your chest. Elbows and triceps drawing towards the spine. Inhale, peel your heart off the earth. Lifting the heart, looping the shoulders down the back. Inhale, rising up into a little cobra. Exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, rising back up into your little cobra. And exhale, lowering back down. One more time. Inhale, rising up into our cobra. And then slowly lower back down. Good, nice. Now let's come onto our forearms to take a Sphinx pose. Breathing here. So we're rising up a little higher. You're on your elbows, they're right underneath your shoulders. Lift your heart, loop the shoulders down the back. Good, and breathe here. If this is a little intense on your, as an extension, you could always send your elbows slightly forward. Let's see about getting a little stretch in our quadriceps. So bring that right leg in. Draw the heel towards the buttocks. Feeling a nice stretch in the front of the leg. Engagement in the back of the leg. Lower that leg. Send your left leg in towards your buttocks. Draw that leg in. Really see if you can draw it in. So you're getting a stretch in the front of the leg, contraction in the back of the leg. Even look over your left shoulder toward the foot if you like. And then slowly come back to center. One more time each side. Bend the right leg in. Heel towards buttocks. And slowly release. Other side. And then slowly release. You can lower back down so that you can draw your hands back in line with your chest. Press up through hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Send your hips back toward your heels and rise up into your downward facing dog. Pedaling your feet out once again. And bringing that to stillness. Settling into your dog pose for 3 to 5 breaths. Take one more breath or two here. Good. Now let's send our right leg towards the sky again. You can always come down to table, send the leg to the sky, and then float it underneath your body or from a knee stand to bring that right leg forward back into our low lunge. Square your hips, active back leg. Rise up, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 posture. Good. Squaring hips, toning belly. Bend your elbows, take your Devyasana arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades toward each other. Good, so we're taking a little back bend here. Send your arms back up to the sky. Now this next time, we're going to send our arms back behind us. So turn your palms toward each other. Interlace your hands into your yoga mudra. Bend elbows so you can draw your elbows and triceps together, or you can do that as your arms are straight, and then lift your heart and gaze. Take a little extension here. Lifting your heart, squeezing shoulder blades together. One more breath, and then slowly release your arms back up to the sky. Lower your hands to frame your foot. Bring your right foot back to meet your left. Back into your high or modified plank. Slowly lower down onto your belly for one more round of cobra. So here we go. Inhale, lifting your heart, rising up. Maybe you're starting to come up a little higher now into a little bit of a king cobra. We're down. Inhale, rising up. Good. And last time, come up into your posture and hold. So you can be in a little cobra, little baby cobra. Your arms could be a little straighter with your belly still on the earth, sort of like king cobra. Or you could rise all the way up to your upward facing dog where you plant the tops of the feet, lift the thighs. Either way, keep your heart lifting. Shoulder blades drawing towards the spine. Take one more breath. And then press up through hands and knees or roll over your toes and find your downward facing dog. Last one. 3 to 5 breaths here. Good. Now, yogis, let's send that left leg to the sky and then have it land between our hands. Regard into the low lunge again. Strong legs. Use the support of your left leg or core strength to rise up. Warrior 1. Squaring hips, strong back leg, toned belly. Bend elbows, Devyasana arms, squeeze your shoulder blades toward each other. Maybe lift your gaze here. Send your arms back up to the sky. Send your arms wide to the side, turning palms toward each other. Maybe take an opposite interlace you did before in your yoga mudra. Elbows and triceps draw in. Maybe you can extend your arms, lifting your heart and gaze. Take an extension here. And then slowly release your arms up to the sky. Lower your hands to frame your foot. Send your right foot to meet the left, back into your forward fold. Take a half lift. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. Bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Keep your legs where they are. Lift your chest, send your arms forward. Draw the arms into the shoulder sockets so they're nice and stable. Maybe you can lift them a little higher into your Utkatasana. Maybe sink a little deeper. Take one more breath here. And then rise all the way up to standing Utkatasana. Send your arms wide to the side and lower down. Tadasana or Samastitihi, and pause and notice how you're feeling now. Maybe a little more heated. All right. So let's go into a little standing pose with a quadricep stretch. So a couple of options. You can have a wall handy. Put the weight into your left leg. Pick up your right leg. Let your right hand draw down the thigh, the knee, the shin to take hold of the ankle and drop behind the back. Good. So the left hand could stay by your side on your hip or be on a wall for support. Try to keep the thighs together. That thigh might tend to go out. So see if you can draw it in. And then draw the heel towards the buttocks as much as you can. You could even use a strap if you have one handy. That might be helpful. Right, so just even or the pant leg. So just get that leg to come in as much as you're able to because we want to stretch the front of the thigh, the quadricep. And we're challenging our balance. So you can even send this arm to the sky if you want extra challenge, or you could send it back behind you and start to work into a back bend. Take one more breath, and then you can slowly release the leg, shake it out, and let's try the other side. Again, sit up. If you're using a strap, you might want to have a little tiny loop around your foot. That way you can put the foot in the loop and then turn that strap over your shoulder. Don't let it rest on your shoulder. So you keep your elbow up towards the sky, it's just, yeah, don't let it rest on your shoulder if you're using a strap. I think I see a few people are getting a strap handy. All right, so let's start with our right hand on hip or against a wall as you pick up the left leg. Easy to let your hand glide down the leg so you can catch your foothold, whether it's your pants or your ankle, and then draw the leg back. Again, thighs parallel. Just see how much you're able to draw the leg in. Sometimes we don't even hold the foot. We're just drawing it in isometrically like we did on our belly. That's okay too. The strap is okay too. It's all good. All right, it's all legitimate. And if you like, you can send your right arm to the sky for a little extra challenge. If you want to start to move into your back bend, you can draw that hand behind the back as well. You can even start to kick the leg back, squeezing shoulder blades together. So whatever feels comfortable for you today. And then slowly release. Good. Now you can do that one more time, or we'll move into dancer, not a Rajasana, because to me, nothing says joyful, more joy and happiness more than that posture. And it is a good back bend and quadricep stretch for us as well. So let's start again on the left leg. You could have the hand on a prop or on your hip. Get into it the same way that you did before, just take the foothold, then send the leg behind you. Now you can hold on to the outside edge of the foot, the ankle or the top of the foot, or the inside edge of the foot through an external rotation of your shoulder. So you externally rotate the shoulder so the palm faces outward, and then you could grab maybe the inside of the foot. I like to do that and then press my thumb into the arch of my foot. Then when you're ready, you could start to send the thigh back, the shin back, and then press through the ball of your foot and lift the foot to the sky. So then your right arm is extended, there's some space in your shoulder. The belly could drop down a little bit, but the chest comes up. So here's where it's the back bend. And then you could even send your left arm forward onto a prop, palm flat if you want, or you could bend the elbow and make chin mudra, that little kind of like okay symbol, the connection of your individual consciousness to universal consciousness. And breathe here. And keep kicking the shin back, lifting the foot to the sky. And think about the circuit you're making towards your foot and head. One more breath, and then slowly release. Prepare for other side when you're ready. Right foot grounds, left leg lifts. We take hold of the foot in whatever way feels comfortable on this side. And then start to draw the thigh back, the shin back. The foot lifts up towards the sky. As you start to lift your chest, good, and take a little back bend as well. And then slowly begin to make your way out. And pause and notice how you're feeling now. Let's take a few integrating breaths. So big inhale and exhale it out. And again, inhale and exhale it out. One more time, big inhale and exhale, and slowly lower your arms by your side. Now let's come down onto our knees. We're going to do our camel pose. Now, if your knees, I'm just going to do a little time check on this. Okay, good. Your knees you may benefit from some propping. We want to keep our hips over our knees in this posture, which is why we wanted to open up the quadriceps a little bit so that the back bend could be in our thoracic area. So one of the ways that I've always encouraged us to do it is to bring a block between the inner thighs. It helps you bring some engagement to the inner thighs, and ideally, then maybe you'll find the back bend from the upper back. Another way to do it is to put the hips and the thighs against the wall, and then keep pressing your lower body against the wall as your upper body goes back. That's the way I'm going to encourage us to do it now. You can still have the block between your legs, but you just want to keep it more or less flush. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go near a wall. I'm going to take my little blanket. I'm going to take everything I've got here. I'm going to go right against the wall. My toes can be curled under, or they can be flat, up to you. And I'm going to have to adjust my block so I can really press my hips against the wall. And you're going to tell yourself, keep the hips against the wall. Don't let them move away. And this will really show you where you are with Utkatasana. You could have your hands on your hips or just even dangling. Then if you're on the hips, then see if you can draw the elbows and triceps toward each other. Press the hips against the wall, and then start to lean back. Peel your upper body away, squeezing the elbows and triceps together, and breathe here. And then you can come back up. You can even sit down. You can make it a vinyasa a few times, sitting down into, just like into a virasana situation, or like you're going to go into child's pose. But of course you're not, because the wall's in the way. And then let's try that a few times. So rising up, pressing hips towards the wall, lifting your heart, squeezing shoulder blades together. And then slowly come back down and pause. Maybe you're done, or maybe you want to just give it one more go. So let's try it. If you're having another go, let's try it. Pressing the hips. Keep the hips pressing against the wall, squeezing shoulder blades together. So you're lifting your heart and finding this back bend in the thoracic spine. And then slowly come on down, pause for a moment. We could even, come a little bit away from the wall. Actually, don't even, if you stay on your prop and start to, you can hinge forward and go into a little bit of a child's pose. So start to, hopefully you may have found, I found that it helped me protect my lower back a lot because I kept it stable and I really was finding mobility in the upper spine. So the wall really just helped me. If it caused you any tension in your low back, then maybe you're going to move slowly. But if you're ready, you can even just go right into your child's pose. Again, now supporting your head on the blocks, your hands or the earth. Don't surrender here. Take one more breath. And then let's rise up and let's finish with a couple more seated stretches. So come to seated. Extend your legs in front of you into Dandasana. So find your Dandasana. And again, you can sit up on a little bit of a blanket to have more of a forward tilt to your pelvis and keeping your spine upright. Bend the right leg and plant the foot onto the earth. Draw the heel as close to the hip bone or the groin as feels comfortable for you, and that you can keep both sits bones grounded. The knee is over the ankle, and maybe there's a space between the right leg and the right foot and the left leg, like maybe a fist distance. That always feels nice. Then bring your left hand behind you on the earth or a block. Get your torso long, create that elongation. Send your right arm to the sky, even create more length. And then bend your elbow, bring it to the inside of your right leg. Hug that right leg in, and then against the leverage of right leg, left arm, so right arm, right leg, rotate to the left. And breathe here. It's a beautiful open chain twist. Taking a nice gentle twist, releasing any heat in the body. Again, beautiful heart opener. You can look over your left shoulder if you like to get rotation in your neck again. Take one more breath. And then unwind, come back through center. Let the right leg drop out to the side and that foot come against your left leg for Janushirasana. Legs are really nice and stable, grounding down as the torso lengthens. Rotate your torso ever so slightly so that you can fold in line with your left leg. Fold right over that leg. You could send your arms to the sky, or you could even let them just glide on the earth in front of you. However you get down, think about leading first with your heart and keeping your spine nice and long, energetically drawing your head towards your toes. Taking a foothold if you are able, whether you use your hands or your strap. Grounding the hips and lengthening your torso. So you're feeling a nice stretch in your lower back. Take one more breath here. Look towards your toes and then rise up to seated. Extend your right leg and pause for a moment, even give a little wind chill wiping to the legs. before we go to second side. Left leg bends, plant the foot on the earth. Find the position that feels comfortable for you. Grounding both legs, so you have a nice stable base. Right hand comes behind the back. Left arm reaches up to the sky, and then exhale as you bend the left elbow to the inside of that leg, rotate to your right. Keep the right leg active and grounding down as your torso lengthens. Find the rotation starting in your belly, moving up the upper spine, maybe even getting into your neck as you look behind yourself. Take one more breath. And then unwind. Letting the left knee drop out to the side, finding your Dandasana. And that left foot could be wherever feels comfortable for you, right? Always make it feel comfortable. Grounding both legs down, lengthening the torso, rotating the navel slightly in the direction of the right leg. With your arms extended or gliding on the earth, hinge from your hips and forward fold. Janu means knee. Sirsasana means head. So we're bringing our head toward our knee. But even more than that, I think of you want to get this idea that you're energetically drawing your head toward your foot so that you're keeping the torso long rather than rounding. Hinging from your hips, getting a nice lengthening in your low back. Take one more breath here. Look towards your toes. And then with your core strength, rise up to seated. Release your right leg. You can even like windshield wipe a little bit if you like. And let's finish with one more forward fold, Paschimottanasana, that we can take onto our backs. I'm going to turn sideways so that I'm ready to fold onto my mat. Now, if you'd like to take a foothold, you could use your strap. You could even soften your knees so that you can take a nice foothold. I'm holding on to the outside edges of my feet, so I'm holding my feet really nicely. My thumbs are at the base of my big toes. My feet are dorsiflex, so I can start to extend my legs even, maintaining that foothold. Legs are active. Torso is long. Again, hinging from the hips, melting the heart. And breathe here. Take one more breath. And then look towards your toes. Rise up halfway. Come up all the way. And then decide how you'd like to come onto your back. Maybe you'd like to soften your knees to get down. You could roll down with core strength, or you could use the support of your legs or elbows to get onto your back. Once you get onto your back, pause there for a moment. And then let's bring our knees into our chest. Give them a squeeze. You can massage the back body, make circles with the knees. Rock your head side to side, release any tension in the neck. Just notice how you're feeling. And then bring that movement to stillness. Let the knees draw apart. Bring your hands between your legs and hold on to your shins, your ankles, or the outside edges of your feet again. Supta Baddha Konasana. Now you can stay here and do that rocking again and massage, or just pull the legs in. You could even, especially if you have, well, whichever handhold you have, you could send your feet up to the sky, your shins parallel to the earth, perpendicular to the earth, and feet up to the sky, so that you can come into a happy baby. So you can do that as well. And then you can make it blissful and joyful by massaging the back body. Using a little cord to keep you from rolling over all the way to the side. Core strength. And breathe here, pulling the legs in. So they're coming to the outsides of your torso. And then when you're ready, you can slowly bend the knees again and draw them in, give them a squeeze. And then slowly release one leg and then the other onto the earth. Letting your feet drop out to the sides. Even bring your hands to each half of your pelvis and grounding the pelvis into the earth. Then extend your arms, turning your palms up to the sky so you can draw your shoulder blades together. Connecting the back of your skull to the earth when you're rocking your head side to side, releasing any tension. And we'll rest here for these next few moments, fully supported by the earth, so that we can integrate our practice, restore our vital energy, and absorb the Shanti, the peace of yoga. Choose joy, then cherish and savor it. Joy is not a fleeting emotion based on outward circumstances, a transitory feeling of the moment, a reaction to the scenery around you. It comes from within your heart, like a waterfall that rushes out the side of a mountain. Joy is a runoff from the wellspring within you. And sometimes it is a delightful, surprising contrast to the scenery around you. Embrace joy, relish it, even if those around you don't have it right now. You can feel your joy. You don't have to be disrespectful of their feelings, nor do you have to let their lack of joy diminish yours. You have done your work. You have chosen to open your heart. Now you have your reward. Cherish joy. It's your treasure. You've found it. You've earned it. It's yours. So allow your breath to deepen. Gently rock your head from side to side. Bring movement to fingers and toes. Sweep your arms overhead. Reach up through fingers, down through toes. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Take the biggest stretch. Then exhale and release. Maybe do that again. Really stretching, like you're just waking up in the morning. And then exhale and release. This time you can sweep your arms by your sides if you'd like, and give your legs a squeeze, another squeeze. Really pull them in, nose to knee, knee to nose. You can add some rocking if you like. And then we can roll to right side with either bent or straight legs and pause there for a moment. In that little fetal position, our first ever yoga pose. And in your own time, use your right elbow and left hand to sit up slowly, mindfully. You bring your head up last to return to a comfortable seat, like we began, where you connect your sits bones to the earth, lengthen the torso, give a little tone to the belly. Draw your hands together at heart center in gratitude for your joy. And then we'll seal our practice by joining our voices in a gentle Om. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.